in the Natural Resources of the U.S. inquiry. Students explore the rich natural resources across the U.S., how people use them, and the ways everyone can help sustain them. Let's take a look at the key moments in the inquiry. Before you begin exploring natural resources of the U.S. with students, consider informing caregivers about the inquiry using the provided inquiry launch letter. The hook lesson, Valuable Resources, is the first lesson of the launch module. During this lesson, you'll facilitate the game, Well Snippers, sparking students' curiosity about natural resources and building their excitement. Remember, there's no pre-teaching required for hook lessons. Students are likely to encounter new words, new concepts, and new content. Use that newness to spark curiosity and motivate students for the learning ahead. You'll begin building your classroom's vocab wall, which will grow over the course of the inquiry. Finally, students will discuss how the Well Snippers game shaped their initial thinking about the inquiry question that will guide them through the investigation modules that follow. How should we use the resources of the United States? In the second lesson of the launch module, Generating Investigation Questions, students will use the question formulation technique, a protocol for producing, improving, and prioritizing questions. During the protocol, you'll work with students to fill out the investigation questions anchor chart, which you'll display and refer back to throughout the inquiry. Remember, it's okay if students don't have many ideas yet. This is time for informal pre-assessment, not pre-teaching. After the launch module, you'll guide students through 4 investigation modules, each organized around an essential need-to-know question. How is each region of the U.S. unique? How can we use natural resources responsibly? What affects the balance between humans and the environment? What actions support sustainability? Over the course of these modules, you and your students will construct an inquiry-long display, the Natural Resources Inquiry Wall, a visual representation of the 5 regions of the U.S. This display acts as a living document that you'll add to and modify throughout the inquiry. It will serve as a tool to help students recall learning and draw connections to the inquiry question. Throughout these investigation modules, you'll also check for understanding using checkpoint assessments, which come near the end of a module. Remember, if you need support with the checkpoint assessment, you can always use the assessment guide linked in the lesson. Let's look at a few highlights from each module. In Module 2, students practice map reading skills by going on a map scavenger hunt. In Module 3, students conduct research in small groups, investigating how humans rely on natural resources and how they can be used more responsibly. In Module 4, students engage in a Dust Bowl card sort to examine a historical event through the lens of sustainability. Finally, in Module 5, students imagine a more sustainable future and consider what individuals, industries, and communities do and could do to promote sustainability. At the end of Module 5, you'll help students get ready to turn their learning into action by reflecting on what they've learned, generating ideas about challenges and opportunities related to use of resources and sustainability, creating an inquiry challenge statement that addresses a specific challenge and opportunity in the world around them. After Module 5, it's time to take action. Based on student interest, available resources, and your unique context, you'll choose an inquiry product that students will create to impact the community beyond their classroom. The possibilities are endless. Students could create PSA commercials that highlight the conservation of a natural resource, enlist participants in a community initiative to protect a natural resource in their community, such as a local park cleanup, educate community members about issues related to sustainability in the local area by making and presenting slide presentations. Whatever product you and your students choose to create, the lessons of Module 6 will guide you through the stages of the design process, culminating in students sharing their work and reflecting on their learning and accomplishments. One important step in the design cycle that you don't want to miss is co-creating a final inquiry product rubric with students. You'll base your rubric on objectives from the investigation modules, inquiry skills, and student-generated success criteria. And that's a quick overview of the natural resources of the U.S. inquiry. Don't forget to submit samples of your student work and photos of your students in action. Accessible from the Inquiry Hub portal at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Good luck on your inquiry journey.